2 now. Marco Banias has a segment 2. Sports director Marco Banias is here to introduce us to a remarkable man.
Since the emergence of such action film stars as Chuck Norris, Van Damme, and Steven Seagal, an entire generation now seems to equate the martial arts with violence and mayhem, when in fact the true essence of the art is quite the opposite. Tonight on segment 2, the story of a man who has spent a lifetime teaching strength and power through discipline and tranquility. For most men of 85 years, the most strenuous exercise imaginable might be lifting the remote control for their TV sets. But Professor Sig Kufferath is a different breed of cat, a martial arts master who earned his black belt back in 1941.
I used to go and watch Fidesz Ali Koi, the cop, you know. So one day he says, why don't you come down to the dojo and then maybe you'd like to learn martial arts. I said, okay. I went down there for 1 week and watched every day. And then at the end I said, what the hell, I can do this. So I started in the mid-30s and I'm still at it.
And so it was. The start of a career that has landed him into the Jiu-Jitsu Hall of Fame, a 10th degree black belt in 3 different disciplines. In other words, he is one bad dude. Yet in tribute to the calm, disciplined life Sig leads, never once has he put his plentiful skills to use off the mat and outside the dojo.
With all my martial art training, I've never had a chance to use it out in the street. Never. I worked for the South Street nightclub in Waikiki for 2.5 years. I never had any problem. No problem, nothing. But the guy that took my place every other night, he was a prize fighter. He had fights there all the time. All the time. So for me, when I was there, no problem at all.
On a personal note, my own father-in-law has studied under Sig since 1960.
I think the reason he's able to perform at the highest level is because he's never stopped. He's always continued to perform. Believe it or not, if you were out in the mat with him and you feel the strength that man has, you saw some of those techniques for yourself tonight. He's an amazing man at age 85.
The biggest problem we have with him is keeping up with him. It's kind of funny because some of my students, they'll come in, oh, I got a little hurt here, I got a little hurt there, and I just go, well, look at Professor, he's 85, he's still out there. He's a living martial art treasure. I mean, we love him. We're so excited to be with him. In fact, we named our organization after him. It's Kilohana, which means the best, and so we're very proud to be with him.
Sig still instructs his pupils on a regular basis at the Pacific Coast Academy of Martial Arts in Campbell. You can find him there on most any day of the week. And maybe, if he has his way, right on through the turn of the century.
I'm going to retire in 2001.
Really?
Yeah, that'd be 90 years old.
And so what would the difference be then as to now?
Oh, I don't know. Time will tell.
Because like you said, you can't quit now. What makes you think you're going to want to quit then?
Well, maybe when 2001 comes around, I'll see how I feel.
With all of his physical skill, nearly 60 years of masterful participation in the arts, it's still a very basic wisdom that has left Professor Sig Kufferath standing tall and above the rest.
But my teacher in the islands, Professor Okazaki, told me this. He said, you learn 5 techniques, good ones. You only teach 3. You keep 2 for yourself.
I like that.
Yeah.
5 great techniques. Teach 3, keep 2 to yourself. Words to live by. I'm Marky Banias for segment 2. Great man.
Jiu-Jitsu. Our hero tonight proves that you can be strong as steel even in your golden years.
He is a gentle teacher who commands respect with every move. And as a jiu-jitsu master, he's passing along an ancient tradition to a new generation.
Go behind the person.
Professor Sig Kufferath knows how to watch his back. In fact, he's powerful from any angle. At the Kodokan Jiu-Jitsu School in Santa Clara, going up against Professor Kufferath means going down on the mat. He's 86 years old, but can throw men half his age or younger without even working up a sweat. And when he's not in the jiu-jitsu studio,
I ride the stationary bike maybe for about 20 minutes or 25 minutes without stopping. After I get through that, I go on the, lie on a bench and do, let's see, 35 pounds. I did this afternoon 120 times.
he's in terrific shape, but the professor says his real strength is teaching others.
When you watch a student work out, you watch them improve, you know, and yeah, that's already a sign that I'm improving. Yeah.
Professor Kufferath is the oldest active teacher of Danzanryu Jiu-Jitsu in the world. He learned the martial art in Hawaii in 1937 from the foremost jiu-jitsu master in the U.S., Professor Henry Okazaki. Kufferath later succeeded his mentor as leader of the American Jiu-Jitsu Institute.
He's definitely high status. He has such a high technical knowledge, but just his example of how he does things and watching him and listening to him can teach you a world.
Professor Kufferath is a 10th degree black belt, the highest level you can achieve in the martial arts. But he says his greatest joy is not the many honors he's received, but simply sharing his love of jiu-jitsu with others.
With all the awards I've had, trophies and all that, my room is just full of them. But nothing means more to me than all the friends I've made as I grow up.
At 86, Professor Kufferath has no plans of slowing down. He may have reached a venerable age, but don't let him throw you, because it'll hurt. Kufferath actually has a fascinating background. His mother was Japanese, his father German. In fact, his father was the German consul general for many years. And as for retiring, Doug, he says he has no plans of it, not even thinking about it. Yeah.